am on track to run around 105 kilometers this week. At this point, I have now done a handful of 100 plus kilometer weeks. This means that I have doubled my weekly mileage, or kilometrage as we say in French, because I count in kilometers, going from 50-ish weeks of running to 100 plus weeks of running. And right now, I am super grateful for all the things I have been doing and sticking to that got me to this point as someone who only started running in my adult life. And I want to talk about how I got there without getting injured or burnt out. So my plan for this video, and I hope I'm going to do an okay job at it, is to take you through my week of training for Valencia half, but also show you all the weekly and daily habits I stick to that have allowed me to run more and more, the supplements I take, the things I've bought that I consider to be investment for my health and my running, and also show you practical examples of how we've been building up the mileage into my training plan, block after block. But first, why is pretty much everyone trying to increase their weekly mileage? Well, okay, when you really like running, it's nice to be able to run more without your body screaming at you. But the real reason is that increasing your running volume is a key to progress. So running more, building your aerobic base is a way to becoming a faster runner. I don't think there's any point increasing too soon. As long as you're progressing on lower mileage, just keep it there. It took me 4 years to go from 50 to 100 kilometer running weeks. So it was not an overnight process, and I do not regret taking my time at all. I'm sorry to disappoint, but this video is not about how to double your weekly mileage in a short time frame. It is more about how consistency wins the game, the little habits that got me there, and hopefully showing you that doing it steadily, not rushing the process, is so worth it. Because let's be honest, we all know people who picked up running in their adult life, loved it, started running too much too soon, and bam, got injured. And do you want that for yourself? No, you don't. As for the ways to increase mileage, well, pretty straightforward. Running every day, double run days, longer runs, like duh. This is how you do it. That's all well and good, but how do you actually do it? How do you get your body to handle it? How do you keep building up and up and up without having to take forced breaks and having to rebuild again? In other words, how do you stay consistent enough to make it happen? Because yes, consistency is the name of the game. It is the overarching element. I had pretty much uninterrupted training since I've started running seriously. 4.5, maybe coming up to 5 years ago now. No injuries, just a couple niggles. I never had to stop running for more than a handful of days at a time. No health issues. So yes, there is an element of luck, and nobody's bulletproof, and maybe next week after I've posted this video, I'm gonna get injured. But believe me when I say I do everything in my power to cultivate that consistency as best as I can. Let's go through my week of training and I will show you how I try to do it. I'm actually starting this vlog Tuesday, but week 3 of Valencia half marathon training started yesterday, Monday for me, where I did an easy double, so 10k in the morning and 5k in the afternoon. Before, I would have just done an easy 10k in the morning. Now, with this double, it's a 15 kilometer day. I started doing doubles on a regular basis, I want to say the end of last year, but it really became a thing in my training, like once or twice a week. This year, when I was training for the Malaga half, so from January basically. I also went to the gym yesterday, and resistance training is something we're going to talk about later in this video. Because right now, we need to get today's run done. My run today is 75 minutes at easy pace. Another way we've been increasing my weekly distance is by making the short, easy runs progressively longer. So this time last year, my easy run on a Tuesday morning would have been 8 to 10k. And now we've worked up to an hour and 15 minutes, which will make me run probably, 13, touching 14k for this morning. This run is also a really good opportunity to talk about fueling. And now for any run that is over an hour, even if it's just easy pace, I will take gel with me. And it's not like I desperately need fuel right now. I could do fine without it, but I'm not just thinking about this run. I'm thinking about the whole week. I have about 105 kilometers to run. I don't want to start dipping into my glycogen stores more than I need to. It's much easier to stay on top of both training and recovery when you almost anticipate your fueling requirements and you never get to a stage where you're too depleted. No running for me this morning. I'm going to the club track session tonight, but I started my day at the gym. And guys, I am absolutely convinced that strength and conditioning is the glue that holds my body together and has kept me from running injuries for so long. I have been lifting weights for well over a decade now, and I cannot stress this enough. Even if you don't run, you need to lift weights, okay? It's not just about how you look, looking fit. It's about all the good things it does to your body internally so you can age well. It's good for your bone health, your tendons, your cardiovascular system, even benefits from lifting weights, your metabolism, your posture, so many things. And if you run, well, it's really good for your core strength, stability, coordination, your running form, your power. I'm gonna stop right there before this turns into a 20-minute expose on the benefits of resistance training, because as you can tell, I am a massive advocate. Okay, in a nutshell, getting stronger in the gym will help you tolerate a higher training load. I was a proper gym girl before becoming a runner. I even used to work as a personal trainer. I was lifting 6 days a week. Now that training has completely taken over, I am still aiming for 3 gym sessions per week. I would say I've kept the foundations the same. I'm still prioritizing the big compound movements that work the major muscle groups. And then the accessory exercises have changed a little bit. I'm doing a bit more functional training, single leg exercises, all those things that are a bit more applied to running, but on the whole, the structure has stayed the same. We are having a bit of a slow start to the day. I had a very short, very bad night's sleep, which always happens after an evening session or an evening race. Sleep is really the weakest link in my recovery habits. I've never been a good sleeper, but I know that it's such a key factor for recovery and also for long-term health, so I am actively working on it. Now, when you're trying to improve something, you need to be able to measure it accurately. And this is mostly why I decided to buy this thing, which is a Neura ring. It does a much better job at tracking my actual sleep quality compared to my watch, which is chatting absolute rubbish. And it gives me a readiness score, which we use to inform my training. Because if you buy all those gadgets and you don't take any of the insights on board, then don't bother. I wouldn't say that this ring governs my life, but I really listen to what it's telling me about my body and my recovery. Since today, it tells me that my readiness score is below my usual range. And it also tells me that I didn't sleep really well and I had a very short night's sleep. On the plan today, I have a double run day. I was also going to hit the gym. I'm thinking it's probably best if I just focus on the running, skip the gym for today. I'll go another day. So I reduce the training load and the stress on my body for today, and I hopefully recover a bit better. So 40 minutes run in the morning, 30 minutes this afternoon. I will keep the pace super easy. If I had had several bad nights sleep in a row, then we would have scrapped the double. If you train a lot in a state of fatigue, well, you increase your risk of getting injured or ill. Simple as that. Right, so I know the topic of food and nutrition can be a little sensitive, but it is a key part in training, endurance sports specifically, that includes running. When you are running more and you want to carry on building on your mileage, you have higher energy requirements, you need to nourish your body accordingly, ensure that what you are eating in your main meals, not just fueling in training, matches your new energy requirements. If you are underfueling, you are putting yourself at risk of picking up an injury, and there goes your consistency. In running, we talk a lot about carbs, rightly so, but you also need enough protein because when you train, you do damage to your muscle. You cannot repair that damage without enough protein. You also need your healthy fats and all the micronutrients, vitamins, minerals that keep your body working as it should. You just want to try and keep your body in that ideal state of balance by giving it everything it needs in the right proportions. In this household, we keep it very simple. We're not passionate about cooking. We don't really want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. making meals. So in the morning, 99% of the time, we have a bowl of oats with protein powder. That's the one I use at the minute. I keep switching brands. I quite like this one. It has turmeric in it, which is why it makes my oats look so yellow. And then we have some toppings like chia seeds, dry fruits, frozen fruits. A typical lunch for us would be a source of carbs like pasta, rice, or sweet potato with veggies, and then some kind of tofu or tempeh. And pretty much every evening we have eggs with veggies and some carbs. So we are mostly vegetarian in this household and eat sometimes some meat and fish. I used to be plant-based. I did not manage to meet most of my nutrient requirements through a vegan diet. I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying personally I didn't manage, so that was not sustainable. But yeah, we eat a lot of yogurt, sourdough, flapjack, high carb bars, that type of things. I also think it's fine to supplement a few things. I mean, we use protein every day. Because I am still largely plant-based, when you are on a plant-based diet, you need to supplement with vitamin B12. I take an iron supplement, and I also take pretty much every day my Pilar Ultra Immune C, which is basically loaded with vitamin C. It helps keep your immune system in the right place so you are less likely to catch every illness flying around. When you're in a training block, you do not want to get ill, right? Talking about Pilar Performance, I think I'm going to get back on the magnesium, which I used to take also religiously last year, and it was helping with my sleep, so I think I'm going to also get back on the magnesium. I've got a session this morning. It's a fairly new one in my workout rotation. I think I've only done this one a couple times before today. So after the warm-up, I've got 4K at steady pace, and then I'll do 4 by 1K at tempo pace. So most of my mileage increase comes from easy running, but some of my sessions are also bigger than before, which bumps up the volume, either by doing more reps or longer reps, or by going faster for the same amount of reps. For instance, a classic session I've done for years is 4 by 3, 4 by 2, 4 by 1 minute, 4 by 30 seconds, but I'm running faster for the same perceived effort, so I end up covering more distance now in that session than I was 3 years ago. Fourth and last kilometer rep done. Pacing was good. Maybe I was a little faster than my true tempo pace for those reps, but it did feel like tempo effort. It was a good session. Quite happy with that. Felt good. The only thing I'm a little frustrated about is that between the 3rd and 4th kilometer, I got distracted and I didn't check my watch to see my recovery time, and then I realized I had gone way past 90 seconds, and I'm always frustrated when I do that. It is now Saturday. I started the day at the gym, and then my run today was just easy 50 minutes. And when I get home from a run, I come to this yoga mat and I do some stretches. I'm a big fan of prehabbing instead of rehabbing, and I'm trying to do all the little things I can to limit my risk of injury. Now, there's no denying that there is an element of luck when it comes to injuries, but there's also things you can do, and little things go a long way, like doing some activation exercises before a session and doing stretching after a run. I know that the opinions are very much divided on whether or not stretching after a run actually does something. I can tell you personally that it really helps me stay on top of muscle tightness and soreness. I'm just moving a whole lot better when I stretch, and the best way I found to make it a true part of my routine, and I'll just do it, I don't even think about it, is to reduce the friction in my daily life between me and this habit. So for instance, in the case of stretching, well, after my run, I come into this room because the shoe rack is right over there, and then what do I see? I see this yoga mat because I keep it on the floor right here all the time. I don't roll it, I don't fold it away in a cupboard. It is right here for my eyes to see. So it makes it much easier to just pop on the mat, do some stretches. And one thing I spend money on is sports massage. I try to get one every 4 to 6 weeks. And I don't see it as a luxury like a facial. I really see it as an investment for my running. I'm going to state the obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like, that is level 1 of injury prevention. Don't wait until your running shoes are super used and falling apart to change them. Long run and final run of the week done. 24 kilometers today. Started with 12k easy and then 8k steady and then 4k easy to finish off. Took 2 gels. This run illustrates the final way we've been bumping up my weekly volume is by making the long runs longer. In my first couple years of running, my long runs would be 14, 16, 18k, kind of like gradually increasing. And then when I was half marathon training, I would do maybe once or twice in training 20, 21k. Now it's very rare that my long run is anything under 18k. That's kind of like the minimum. For my past handful of half marathon training blocks, really the long runs were from 20 to 25k. It's only week 3 of half marathon training. The long run today was already 24k. Right guys, made it to the end of the week in one piece. 105, actually almost 106 kilometers of running this week. I will put the full breakdown on the screen. The last point I want to touch on before I close off this video is enjoyment, which is not always top of mind when we talk about consistency, but it's really hard to stick to something if you don't enjoy it. Like, don't train for an event or a distance that you are not really motivated for, because it is going to be difficult. I don't love every single run, but on the whole, I love running. And because I've got running goals I'm super excited for, and I've entered events that I'm super looking forward to, then it makes it a lot easier on a daily basis to stick to the training and be consistent, even when it's raining outside or life gets in the way, because I'm super excited about those events I'm training for. I think that was a rather long video compared to my usual vlogs, but I had a lot of things to say, and I didn't want to take too many shortcuts, because when you do that, sometimes you don't get your point across, quite well. But if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a like. If you're new, please subscribe. Anything you want to discuss in the comments, feel free. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!